Welcome back to Clue Me In, where we unravel the world's strangest mysteries, disappearances, unsolved crimes, and eerie cases that leave more questions than answers. I'm Liv.
I'm Kay.
And I'm Grace, your local confused civilian who is here for the vibes and probably incorrect conclusions.
Every episode, Kay and I break down a mystery, and Grace reacts, theorizes, and ultimately delivers her definitive answer.
And today, we're covering one of the most haunting and famous unsolved murders in American history, the tragic case of the Black Dahlia.
Sounds like a band our producer Jake would listen to, the Black Dahlia.
Well, buckle up, because this one is disturbing, mysterious, and has way too many theories. All right, so fair warning, Grace, this one is pretty gruesome.
Okay.
So this one starts with a young lady named Elizabeth Short, and she was later dubbed as the Black Dahlia. She was born on July 29th, 1924 in Boston, Massachusetts. She was the third of 5 daughters, and when she was just 6, her father faked his own death and disappeared.
That's the beginning of her story.
That is the beginning of her story.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Yeah, he just abandoned the family during the Great Depression, and for years they believed he was dead until her mom got a letter from him out of nowhere saying he was just alive and living in California.
So Elizabeth eventually reconnected with him and actually moved out to California to live with him for a while.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but that didn't last very long. He kicked her out, and from there, she started bouncing around from Santa Barbara to San Diego to Los Angeles.
Her whole life so far is just, like, kind of dramatic.
Yeah, very unstable
Hollywood.
and very Hollywood.
Very
Yes.
Hollywood.
Yes, she was probably struggling, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with that said, she did want to be a movie star, so she was trying to live the classic 1940s Hollywood dream. She worked as a waitress, got her picture taken by aspiring photographers. She actually told people she had been engaged to a pilot who died in the war, but the records of that are super fuzzy. Like, a lot of people think she just made it up. So she seems like she was maybe kind of
embellishing a little.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, that's kind of sad because, like, maybe she just wanted to seem more interesting, or maybe it was, like, her way of coping with everything that's been going on.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. Like, she stood out. Like, she always wore all black, had jet black hair, always styled in, like, these big, perfect curls, bright red lipstick, very glamorous,
So,
which is...
like, a fashion icon.
For
Like,
sure.
That's so
Yes.
cool.
And that
Yes.
explains the nickname. I was wondering why Black Dahlia.
Yes.
If she always wore black.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So people definitely noticed her. It's kind of funny because a lot of people, like, I feel like the people who were close to her said she was, like, really sweet and kind of quiet, and then other people said she was super flirtatious and liked attention. So it was almost like maybe she was
Personas.
just like, yes, but underneath all the gossip, obviously, she was just a young woman who was trying to survive in a city that promised big dreams that didn't deliver. You know, it's kind of sad.
And had no real support system.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And unfortunately, that brings us to the morning of January 15th, 1947, in Los Angeles, California. A mother and her young daughter were walking through an empty lot in the neighborhood park when they stumbled upon what they thought was a broken mannequin.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just get ready, because this is the part where it starts to get a little bit more gruesome.
Yeah. So it was not a mannequin. It was the naked body of 22-year-old Elizabeth Short. She was severed in half at the waist.
Oh my gosh.
And completely drained of blood and posed in a grotesque manner.
Like someone was using her as,
a
pawn.
Yes. So the grotesque manner, actually, like, the way they found her was she was laying face up. Her eyes were open. Her arms were spread, like, wide, like, and I don't know what you'd call that, make your body a W almost.
Yeah,
like a goalpost.
Yeah, and then her legs were spread open. Yeah.
But her body was cut in half.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
That, was such a purposeful act.
I know. Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
Totally right.
Someone was so sinister and just had
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very sad.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so, but here's the thing. There wasn't a drop of blood at the scene.
So she was, like, moved there.
Exactly. So whoever killed her elsewhere, cleaned her body, and then dumped it.
Yeah.
But why there?
I wonder if it was a gross, like...
Because it's in a public park.
In the middle of a park, so someone will see it, and... Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to get into that mindset of why it would be placed there.
Right.
But, like, I mean, you can guess based off of...
Yeah.
Also, just, like, how degrading. Like, not only was she killed, but also just, like, put in a naked position in public.
It's
Totally
so
just,
sad.
like, demeaning her.
Right. They didn't want her to have, like, any dignity.
Yeah,
left.
for sure. So by the time she was found, it had been about 10 hours that she'd been dead. She had ligature marks on her wrists, cuts on her mouth that extended, like, ear to ear.
Ooh.
Like the smile.
Kind of reminds me of, like, the Joker smile. Like, what he did to himself.
Yeah.
Oh, my
And then there were signs of blunt force trauma on her head.
My hope in all of this is that all of that happened after she was dead.
That's all we can hope.
Like, hopefully the blunt trauma to the head is what killed her, and then everything else was just, like, additional after she was already dead.
Oh,
it's just...
I know. Yeah.
All right, so despite the brutal nature of the crime, there were no fingerprints, no blood, and no signs of struggle at the dump site.
Yeah.
So police, like, were flooded with tips, like hoaxes and false confessions, and over 60 people claimed responsibility at one point or another. But, like, none of it stuck.
Why?
Because there's some sick people out there, I guess.
Because they think it's cool? Like, I don't understand why you would want your name attached to this.
Yeah.
I guess some people just, like, chase fame so much. And if this was, like,
no
a
matter
big
how
thing,
they get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, her face was on every front page of the country. The LAPD interviewed over 150 suspects, but, like, nobody was ever officially charged.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, it was a pretty big thing. So, like...
Right.
Yeah. When it seems like she gravitated attention anyway.
Right.
Which is just really unfortunate. That
and
might have brought this.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. And, like, it's, like Kay was saying, it's really hard to try to get into the mind of a killer, but you almost wonder if, because of her big personality, they did it in a big way.
Right.
Like,
that's kind of what I was thinking, like, oh, well, you wanted attention.
Right.
You wanted fame.
Right.
But, yeah.
I know. Yeah. Okay, so there are some clues in this case, so let's get to them.
All right, so one of the weirdest lanes, a few days after the murder, the Los Angeles Examiner received a package, and inside were all of Elizabeth Short's belongings. So, like, birth certificate, social security card, a personal photo of her, and her address book.
So they either were close to her, this random person.
Right.
Or... like, knew where she lived, and I don't know.
Right. Because it's not like it's her wallet that was sent. Like, it's
all her
stuff that would
stuff.
be in your home.
For sure.
Well, I mean, I guess since she was bouncing around, like...
birth certificate, social security
Either way,
card.
that should be locked somewhere.
Yeah.
Or wherever she was staying.
If she took someone home, maybe, you know. I don't know. And all of these items had been scrubbed with gasoline, and I don't know if we mentioned that her body was too. Like, her entire body was scrubbed with gasoline. Yeah. So, to remove the fingerprints.
Oh.
It was
so thorough. I hate it.
I know. And the package was signed, and it said the Black Dahlia Avenger.
Yeah. And then also the address book and the package belonged to Mark Hansen, which he was actually a nightclub owner who had let Elizabeth stay at his home.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was questioned, like, extensively because, like, that's one of the only suspects they had at the time.
Right.
But nothing, unfortunately, tied into it.
Yeah, and that could have just been, like, here, I'm leasing you a room, or...
Yeah,
you
well,
know
also, I mean, like, for the killer, like, that would be a pretty good, like, look at someone else, right? Like, here's an address book for you.
Yeah. And there were some witnesses who claimed to have seen her, like, in the days leading up. She was last confirmed to be seen alive on January 9th, leaving the Biltmore Hotel in downtown LA.
That's still, 6 days before?
Yep.
she was found dead.
Yep.
So when she left, she told hotel staff that she was actually going to meet her sister. But no one knows if, like, she actually ever ended up doing that, if that's where she was going. That's just what she told people.
Right, yeah, because then she disappeared until her body was found, like you said, 6 days later. No confirmed sightings, phone calls, nothing.
I'm also, like, if she was supposed to meet her sister, you would think that her sister would
have
say,
come
hey,
forward.
like, I never...
Right.
Or, like, file a police report, or call her, something.
For sure.
Like, hey, I haven't seen my sister.
Yeah.
I do think that's one of the confusing parts, is that she was so, like, it sounds like she was so well known, or had, like, so many acquaintances and stuff. Nobody, like, raised any alarms about it. But I also, like, I understand that it sounds like she was bouncing around a lot.
For sure.
And it sounds like she embellished a lot. And so it's hard to know, like, did she really have plans, or was she really... had no plans but didn't want people to know that, so she made something up.
Right, and maybe things she said people didn't even take into account, because if she did say a lot of stuff that was like...
Yeah, if you knew that was her personality. Yeah. Like, what do you believe, what do you not believe?
Right. So, let's talk suspects. So, obviously, we mentioned there were over 150 people questioned. More than 60 people actually confessed.
Which I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't know.
So weird. Yeah, so weird.
So then one of the most talked about suspects, and I feel like this is where the story gets really interesting, is a doctor named George Hodel. So he had surgical training, and he lived in LA. But the reason why it's like so interesting is because his son was actually later the one that accused him of the murder.
Yeah.
So Olivia,
tell
us about the son.
Yeah.
I want to know more.
So his son, Steve Hodel, was actually an LAPD detective.
Oh.
He actually wrote an entire book laying out in what he calls evidence
that
it was his dad. He said
to
me that says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't ever call out anyone in my family unless I was
to be
fairly
fair,
certain.
It didn't seem that they had the best relationship.
Still, though.
Yeah. Yeah. He said the handwriting from the letters matched his dad's. But they did, other people did handwriting. What do you call it? Tests. What do you call that? Analysis.
Yeah.
And said it didn't match exactly, but you wouldn't. You would try to change your handwriting a little bit.
But if
you were doing
it
it,
matched
even
a
if there
little
were,
bit?
even if there were some similarities, it's
right.
very hard to I don't know. I feel like people's penmanship tells so much about them because it's so unique to each person.
Right. Yep.
But I know there's also people out there that know how to forge it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And his dad's home was wired by police at one point. So they could hear into some of his conversations. And he did have a pretty dark history.
Yeah. So there were recordings from this that had George saying things like, suppose I did kill Black Dahlia. They couldn't prove it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't age well.
No, definitely not. Yeah. So another theory is that Elizabeth was killed by someone in the Hollywood scene. So maybe someone she knew or someone who promised her a role. And then there's speculation that it was a mob hit or that she stumbled on something, that she wasn't supposed to know.
I'm sorry. Why would George Hodel, the doctor, kill her?
That is the thing
is there any motive?
Not understood very much.
So I actually read something when we were researching this case and watching videos and stuff that him as a doctor, he was known in the Hollywood scene for being the doctor people would go to. So some people think maybe she went to him a few times or at one point, and that's the connection. But there's also no I don't think there's any doctor notes or anything like that. No. But also, if he was doing side business stuff that wasn't legal or something like that, why would he have those?
Okay, so he could have known her.
He could have.
Okay.
And there was someone I'm remembering that said that they knew each other. But it's so hard when there's so many people involved to know what to believe of people just saying things.
Right.
But that is on record somewhere that someone said. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so going back to the theories, some people even link it to a lot of LA murders that were happening at that point. Like there was a serial killer working in the shadows, but nothing was ever officially connected to like all the other murders that were taking place.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, despite all the theories and confessions, the case is still unsolved to this day.
Yeah, and it's like one of the most infamous like cold cases in American history. Like no one was ever arrested, no one ever stood trial, and like you can hear this case being talked about all over the podcast format, all over social media.
I think it's a movie with Josh Hartnett and Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it is definitely famous.
Yeah.
All right, Grace. So you've heard everything. Give us your solution.
Man, this is just so much to process. And it's also like, do I want to say who did it? Because obviously, that's just speculation. But I feel like of all the theories we talked about, the one that makes the most sense is the surgeon, the doctor.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
Especially with, like, cutting someone in half, draining their blood, knowing how to, like, clean the body. I feel like all of that kind of goes into something that the George might have known and had experience with.
Yeah, so I forgot to mention that in my reading, that people, like, they actually said that, like, it was reported in the police reports that, like, the what is it? Like, the marks and the surgical things, like, it had to have been done by somebody who
and
knew
even, like, the face
smiles.
and the smile. I forgot about that. Yeah, that. So I feel like, I mean, obviously I don't feel like I understand a good reason for why they did it, but also I don't think, like, motive. But I don't, to me, no motive would justify a killing like this.
No.
So my definitive answer today is that it's
I think that's fair.
George
I think most people
and
would agree with you.
Yeah, because I also read somewhere that, like, the Hodells were known to not be very great guys.
Yeah.
Like, they, like, their family had a reputation of being...
He's got, like, this real big, weird mansion, and someone owns it now who, like, won't let them do complete research on it, I guess.
Oh,
but,
that's
like,
sketchy in itself.
Right, but, like, they're... Like, I think they had dogs, like, sniff around, and, like, they found scent. Like, it seemed like they found scents of, like, bodies or something, but they haven't gotten the go-ahead to, like, dig or anything.
Yeah.
So I know it's off of speculation, but I think that you're pretty on the nose about it.
I think out of all our cases, like, this is
It's also just, like, the only one that really makes sense to me, and he has the experience.
Yeah.
And... suppose I did kill her. Like,
like,
right.
Come on.
Why would anybody say that?
Come on now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Clue Me In. If you want to dive deeper into the mystery of the Black Dahlia, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review.
Who do you think killed Elizabeth Short? Let us know on Instagram at cluemein_podcast.
And if you meet a rich, suspiciously charming doctor, maybe run.
See you next time on
Clue Me In.